Hello there, welcome to another video. This one is going to be a 3v3 game that was played on the Mighty Rivers, which we did on Vubley a while ago, and it marks the return of the mighty Unholy. So this is a modern Unholy, who not as good as he once was, but he's got an excuse for that because he's hurt his thumb. So we'll have a look at this game, what turned out here, and well, we'll see how it all went. So starting off here, we've got myself in the red as the Trade Federation. We've got my wing here, who is Risk up here, and then my other wing being Unholy. Attack must have been watching there. And facing off against Unholy, we've got Yoda somewhere here in the yellow, can't really see on the blooming map. He's in the yellow Trade Federation. His pocket is RVA in the green Gungans, and then we've got Frost here as the purple Wookiees. So as you know, rivers says what it is on the tin there. There's lots of rivers that go through the map, a bunch of crossings that you can wall, lots of choke points. Often goes to late game because of choke points and the way that they disrupt full armies making it across. Tends to be a good amount of fish as well sometimes, but in this instance there's a sort of like an outside sort of sea in terms of the river on the outside. So there's a lot more fish than there usually would be. And to be honest, kind of favours one team there. That's what we tend to get with these maps, but there is actually quite a decent amount of medium fish popping up in the rivers as well. So people can get some fish on the go and get a sort of a jump start to their economy there. It slows down their tech times, but it does give them like extra command centres, basically just pumping out a one-purpose worker, the utility trawlers. So I'm going to speed it up just to make it out of the early, T1 early game. There's a dewback that people can lure to get some food, and not really too much else, it would seem. Maybe 2 dewbacks. Having a look, there's some EOPs as well. So once they're munched, people are going to have to either fish or farm just to get the rest of the food that they're going to need to tech up. You see Frost here, managed to get a little bit of shore fish as well with his EOPs. That is a bargain. The shore fish are nice, they're like about 200 food, yeah. And they have one of the fastest sort of gather rates in the game as well. Let's get our Drew back here, and we're going to get our shipyard down. Start building some utility trawlers. As Unholy here is going to have to place some farms. Not sure what Yoda, he's got some EOPs. So there's a bit of variance in what people are going to be doing here. And something, Unholy has some EOPs as well. So he's sort of diversifying early here, getting some early farms. Actually getting these farms before he's got the carbon processor. Might shore up and make sure that he never actually has an idle command center. But maybe slows down his carb income a little bit. And not the best carbs in spot that he's chosen there. All these workers are ceiling is starting to get stuck. Inefficient. The second one here as well. We've got so many guys. See, there's not even room for these boys. They're doing nothing. Risk putting down some farms. Frost's probably going to fish. Does tend to like fishing. He's very focused on getting this wall down right now, where Risk is tormenting him with a scout, not letting him finish this house. This worker's going to end up dying at this rate. I'm just going to be careful, because if they both start hitting him, he might lose his scout. We've got the glorious Trade Federation light wall there. Not really too much walling from any other players yet. Warning the team that I'm fishing and they're probably going to die in T3. As any good pocket should do. And it looks like Risk did finally lose his scout there. Got stuck in a corner maybe, or just forgot about it, and the worker does escape with 11 health. And Frost's actually going to start farming rather than go for the fishing. Risk doing the same, but he's already way ahead in terms of his farms right now. Frost seems to be quite a bit behind the other players in how quickly that they've gathered their dewbacks, but I suppose he did start on the EOPs kind of early with that shore fish as well. And we've got a troop centre laid down here for Yoda. He does have this sort of light wall here, and it's stopped Unholy walling at the moment. So he could catch him off guard with this. It baits him into thinking that he's maybe going to T3. or that he's much safer, there won't be much aggression because he's favoured walling early. But you can also do that to just have control of the crossings, that you can ensure that you can get access to their base for a rush. We're building lots of boats. I just told them that RVA is the pocket, so they're both probably dead. Not my fault. I want to fish. Frost looking like he's going straight to T3 here. Just needed to get that. It was a very aggressive wall from him. He actually crossed his own crossing to do that. And Risk away to place his tech buildings here to go T3 himself. And at the moment it's just Unholy, Yoda and Risk in T2. Myself getting there a little bit later. But we do have all these nice fisher boys. We've got RVA doing the same here. Here's the Gungans. We are the Trade Federation. Both very good water civs, but let's be honest, nothing compares to the Gungans and their boats that might as well not have a resource cost. They should just spawn for free out of the shipyard. It's practically the same thing. Interesting little wall here from Unholy that's going to delay this rush a little bit, but he's still finding his way into his carbon line here. And there's no turrets to be seen. So that's 3 workers dead already. Yoda not actually paying attention here and missing out on maybe 3 or 4 more kills there if he actually sticks onto these workers. Made a little bit of a wall here ourselves. We're getting harassed with Yoda's scout. As our boats trying to get up here to get more fishes on the go. So Unholy is now gathering in his command centre. He just got his tech buildings up, so he should actually be on his way to T3. Well, he's made it to T3 already, so the strike mech's out. That's the game going too fast now, I think. These Mounties are coming out and they're going to chase the strike mechs and make this very difficult. And from what I remember, Unholy has some of the worst internet I've seen in a while, and he's absolutely lagging the hell out of this game the entire way through. So this is a bit of a tricky experience for him to micro these strike mechs against Mounties and just pure lag. But he's doing a pretty good job of it. Might lose this one though. It's got 3 Mounties chasing it and it's only on 12 health. There's a nice little choke here though that he can stand with the strike mechs. So it's to cover through this. That one's gone down and a second one goes down. That's a bit of a disaster there. And the Mounties are really starting to ramp up now. We've got 2 air bases down here. We're going to be making some fighters. I'm going to have to rally them to Unholy and save him from his pain and suffering. We are arrogantly not even walling the power core, nor less repairing it. And another strike mech's going down by just running into all of these Mounties as well. Got some danger farmers over here as well. RVA is just sort of chilling. He's got 2 air bases down. Not too sure what he's doing with his air at the moment, where he's sent it off. There's a rally point. Well, he's sending it onto my boats, where he's setting up his little nerd network with these sensor boys everywhere. So our fighters are landing in here. Like, it's going to lose the power core, I would have thought. He's repairing it at the last second, but it's missing about like 100 health already. The fighters do decent damage here against the Mounties. Definitely helping out here. There's some fighters running around from RVA, but I think we've got a bit more at the moment, so we're not too worried about that. Yeah, trying to catch us off guard there. Don't really want to fly in here though with all these anti-air troopers. So Unholy gonna have to rebuild things here for himself. A second mech factory, I think he's a bit poor for that, to be honest. I think he just needs a command centre. Some poor decision making. On the other side of things, it looks like Risk and Frost are just not really doing too much. Frost has got some air out and Risk is just doing a little bit of a boom at the moment, getting some command centres down. And we've got RVA here being annoying, try to kill off some of our boats. Pick off one of his fighters for that, but to be honest, the boats are sort of run their course. I can hear a destroyer somewhere. Let's just try to clear up these things. These take a while to actually die to the destroyer. It's just a really annoying noise. The fighters are just doing a lot better. RVA seeking Unholy's blood like the old days. Straight onto him here in his weakened state while I'm off killing off that sensor boy. Gonna come forward here with a couple of fighters, pick off one. Just waiting for the rest to try to get behind him here, catch them all. And I'm using these, and he's just sort of missed the click there, I think. And he's lost about 4 to those 2 fighters. Not even needing to flank with these guys. There are only 2 left now. The other side of things, we've got Risk just building some units. 1 mech destroyer, keep himself safe, and just being annoying shooting at the wall here from Frost. We'd like to finish off that little spy of RVA's. He doesn't really know too much about what we're up to. And starting to get our eco going, building a lot of command centres because we've got some decent food income, but we'll need to get tons of farms and stuff to replace all the boats. And it looks like Yoda's just upped his old tricks again, where he just makes mounties and sort of semi-trolls, I guess. But he is going to get in here, just because Unholy's just not walling his power core. If he walls that, it doesn't die, and then these all die to air, which really I don't get the decision making to do this in the first place. Unholy's got 2 mech factories and tons of strike mechs, and I've got air, and I've got air dominance at the moment. It's just crazy gameplay. I've got Frost here running with all his air into a turret, but I've got some fighters there. I'm going to trade with those fairly well. So Unholy completely fine. Panic anti-air turret now from Yoda there. And it's almost like he's sighing and saying, okay, I'll make a command center, I guess. Got RVA once again trying to get these boats. Wants them. And we're off to T4. The other side of things, I think RVA is also off to T4. Pretty comparable, really. Both doing the same sort of things. We're both off meta picks for air. But because of the nature of the map and the way that this is, particularly in 3v3, the air's just so mobile. And you know, certain ground, ground units can't really hit it. It's maybe the best choice usually in 3v3, just for keeping people alive. And it's the best defense for air as well, having your own air. So this is just 4 terrible, terrible decisions from Unholy. He's really ramping them up this game and making things incredibly difficult for us. He just can't sit at peace and just make a few command centers and out macro Yoda. He's got to consistently throw things away and not wall his power core. I don't think I've ever looked at Risk's base this entire game while I was actually playing it. Just let him do his own thing because I'm always here babysitting Unholy. He's like a toddler just constantly getting themselves into trouble. Unless you've got a firm eye on them. So we've got a lot of fighters out which we should be upgrading on air bases. The fast fighter attack. Not sure where RVA's fighters are. Oh, there they are. So heading up here, I'm guessing they're going to Risk. I kind of just feel we need to sit here all the time, but will need to come up here. I could maybe sit in a more central location. But frankly, I've never been a very good player when the game lags. We've got Risk up here, Johnny Tightlips, who probably won't even tell me if he's being attacked by air anyway. Never tells you anything. Even when I'm on comms with him, he's just dead silent. Killing off these Mounties that have been made again, which I guess were his sort of anti-strike defense. But Unholy and Yoda's Eco's kind of looking quite comparable, to be honest. I think Unholy could be very much ahead if he just didn't go for like second mech factories. And Risk just losing tons of workers. And they've now noticed and come over to help him. Chasing down RVA here. The Gungan Advanced Fighters and the Trade Federation Advanced Fighters. Now, we don't really want to build fighters forever, so we'll try to make some mech factories and such here in Unholy's base. And Risk getting his units out now. Frost is going for air himself. Maybe not the best defense here. He has Wookiees, he could have his own artillery. I think he would definitely want that. He's going to have to make some walls to stall. Might be better to actually layer them. You could wall with even less here. Again, Risk not having too much anti-air stuff himself, and you know, I've just left to go and help and sort of support my push over here. And now he's getting himself aired all over again. Well, there's probably a bit of diminishing returns here since he's just lost most of his workers to RVA. And again, we're flying over with the Trade Federation Armada. Seeking to come and sort these out for him. But then at the same time, like, Unholy getting aired now. Odd to think that I'm the air guy here when old Risco is the Wookiees get shields. So I made some buildings here in our base. We got some turrets covering things. We've got a fort up here in Unholy's base and some more military infrastructure. This wall is actually hindering getting my forces together as they have to go all the way around. And to be honest, I could probably actually just kill them if I walk forward, but you never really know that in hindsight when you're looking now, so probably going to end up letting them build things because I try to macro and upgrade all the units and pump them out, and etc. I seem to have to constantly run around and chase air as well. You can see RV is here at the back of the base, and I'm just searching for him. I know he's there. To be honest, I'm giving him more benefit of the doubt here. I feel like he's moved away instantly and moved up to the corner, and he's just not. He actually did move for a little bit and then he moved down the way. He's landed in the turrets here. He's getting some worker kills, but these should get caught by the air, I think. Told him to delete the wall, because I can't get anything out. So I'll try to get a cannon as well. Annoyingly, this fort's gone up. It took about 2 workers. Risk is starting to get somewhere with his army, but he's really having some trouble with this choke here. Just giving Frost a lot of time to sort himself out here. And RVA has started to pump out cruisers and such that, you know, as you would with the Gungans. So ridiculously strong. Yeah, artillery is decent damage against these things, but mainly the frigates I think that take a lot from the artillery. Decent blows though. This is definitely going to slow Risk's push here. We've got the attrition of the air picking off the light troopers as well. Some decent anti-air mobiles here though, getting some shots, but Wookiees don't get the most anti-air upgrades. At the same time we've got a bit of a push here from Yoda, which is getting knocked back here. The fighters are still, you know, alive and kicking, doing really well against the Mounties. And there's not too much artillery and such here on the ground. Risk weathered the storm a bit here, getting us far up. And start to push in with his artillery. He's got the 10+2s, Frost is still on 10+1 at the moment. Doesn't really have the numbers to match right now. Again, Unholy doesn't really have units yet. He's got some stuff, but it's just sort of hanging out in the back of his base rather than pushing up here with us. And RVA's starting to get some boats here, some cruisers. We built a couple ourselves because we thought, yeah, that was probably something I should do, but not really going to manage to pump out the same amount. Just starting to get the trade built up as well, which we're going to sorely need. The other team needing to do the same, just to get that Nova income going into the late game. And MDs and strike might not really the best into, you know, just artillery here. But we spent a lot of Nova across the game on like fighters and stuff, just to keep the team alive, which thankfully we still do have, so not completely useless. The other side of things, you've got Risk here trying to like micro artillery against these cruisers. Having a bit of a bad time with it. As we're still defending Unholy here, trying to get him in the game. So these artillery and these cruisers are going to make this a bit difficult. I think what we need from our boy Unholy here is just tons of Mounties right now. I suppose I could have done them myself while I still have 50 spare population. But that's going to fill up quickly with all these traders I'm building. Except these two, they don't want to get involved. You got the Gungan fleet there though. It's hard to sort of take this on when your population's spread so thin. Risk not having a shield here. It's going to be hard for him to keep shields alive, to be honest, with all these cruisers. You know, to be honest, he has to pull back. I can't help him just now either. It's a real struggle that we have in this game. Everything's just so molestable at sea by the cruisers. They just hit from every angle. We have some artillery coming in here from Unholy now. Only 10 range though. That's alright against here, the old Gungan ships and stuff. I suppose looking back at it now, I know they could have just went on the bloody water. Which would have been quite good, to be honest. Then I could have done the ground forces. You can see we're fighting a bit of a losing battle there. Risk managed to get his shield up here, but it's going to go down, I would have thought, when the cruisers start focus firing it. You can see how quickly they do damage to it. Strong. And that's just going to cause a lot of his units here to just sort of shed the life. They're really starting to get pushed over here as well. And I built some cruisers and stuff, but I'm not sure what I did with my air. Maybe I lost it. But I've had to like make frigates now to go and deal with these. It's a big blunder on my part that I sort of knew was coming, but Kinda just let it happen. I'll blame the lag and the fact that I felt like I needed an extra 100 pop this game. I don't even know if did anyone have holocrons? I don't think I have. Risk's got one. God knows where they all are. I wonder. I suppose people should really be grabbing them up. It's just Risk that I've seen as one of the holocrons. Here's some mounties now. It's going to catch a lot of these units off guard because there's no anti-mountie stuff. There's no strike mechs. There's no. But there's some air. Somehow RVA's got air left. Let's see, how many workers did they have? 144. We can have a lot more because we got all the traders. 220 we went up to. Try and get our Nova going. A lot of things we needed to kill. So my issue for a while is I've got too many workers and I've not realised how many I've built. I actually went a bit nuts with the merchants. We've got 108 merchants. So I should have just deleted a ton of stuff. I think the boat's getting on top of us now, so we're going to have to the same sort of thing as before. And it's taken me a while to dawn on that I've got too many workers and I need units. It happens to the best of us. Queued up anti-air boats, but they're still building the frigates that I made earlier to defend the what do you call them? The melee boys, destroyers. And unfortunately I'm only getting a bit of a slap in here now. We've even got Frost's air getting involved. So it's not really useful here in this instance in holding his base. We've got Unholy pumping forward here a bit. Putting some idols there for Risk. I worry about his side as well, try to get some infrastructure there. So Unholy's doing a lot, kind of alright now. We're going to need some like anti-air mobiles and some turrets to deal with these annoying fighters. Don't really feel like building any more fighters. Like try to get a bit of a fleet going on the water, but this starts happening as well, which in a way kind of helping me because it's giving me some free population. But I'd rather it was just my normal workers getting killed, to be honest. I think we just realised we're just going to go assault mechs now. The most population effective unit I could think of. I thought they'd do alright against the water. It's not like the area in the water that you can sit on is that far away. I just felt like I'd never really get a fleet together to match this. Behind and a lot of upgrades, I guess. I managed to get the frigate ones. Oh, I managed to get a lot of them. It seems to be the sort of same old, some epic battle here between Frost and Risk. He's doing really well to hold though, because he's got RVA's cruisers just constantly shooting at him from over here. And some artillery like flying into the fight, being annoying. We sort of take over here for Unholy. Start pushing back a lot of the forces here as we get the assault mechs out. The assault mechs I think have been damaging themselves, which is always fun. Nice little bug there. Risk desperate for carbon, I'm guessing. He's got maybe like what, 1.5 forests left. Just to get these guys forward. It's just so hard for him to like, he's just funneling into a very like tiny island, this island of death. We're pushing Yoda back here a bit as we can. Just permanently at max. Don't even feel that rich for how many workers I've got. Not missing anything important on there. I have been known to not get the things I need sometimes. Like an absolute worst. Where's the command center? Alright, we got all the things. I just feel like I would have like 10,000 carbon by now, but apparently not. There's something really inefficient about this trade route or something. Looks fairly fine. It flows. I guess we've still just got 1 million workers. Just not sure what they're all up to. 25 farmers, 44 collectors, carbon collectors. 130, I just don't feel like I've got 136 merchants with the amount of Nova I'm getting. I suppose I got about 10 assault mechs queued. I'm taking a bit of a trade here. Sending some boats here just to, I don't even know why I sent them up here, they're kind of useless. Probably just to kill them off. We've handled the mounties here, we've got some more assault mechs coming from another side. Ramping up the damage as we can. Just kill off the shield. Risk again's in a choke because the assault mechs are doing some decent damage with the artillery. We've got RVA throwing in some assault mechs now as well. Start trying to go down the middle a little bit as well. Just lost about like 40 supply. Maybe start deleting workers now. I've really caught on to what the problem is. It's taken me a while. And we did lose some of those boats as well. You can see Risk getting pushed back now, and Frost and RVA moving into the Island of Death. And at the very least, I think the things that they build on it will be able to stay alive because there's not really cruisers hitting them as such. Try to get a decent army here to hold things while Unholy rebuilds whatever he's going to build now. These mighty's getting stuck. I think we're deleting off these trawlers and stuff. Another push here from Yoda and RVA. Not too much from Unholy, but he's got some shields down for us, but kind of not really fighting in them. And some air from Frost here, kind of annoying, getting involved. Just sitting on top of the turret though. Assault mechs try to hold, and I'm kind of just prepared to just keep throwing them at them and hope we can win that way. Risk finally getting to fight in a favourable choke for once, but and some cruisers here from Frost being annoying. Just always had these things just like going at him. He's throwing in these berserkers here. Fortunately for RVA, he does have some fighters at home to defend against these, and they're doing some decent damage on them. And they're getting in here looking for vital things like power cores, maybe some worker kills. Just being annoying. And the push is still continuing here. Not really an end as such. I'm worrying about Risk now. They're getting pushed up against here with no shield. One of these Mounties flying in. A few get on top, but they are mostly dying. They trouble the assault mechs too much. This cruiser's going to look for some power cores. Such a strong unit. The assault mech helping out here, doing a lot of damage to these mechs. But I'm struggling to get enough of these out. See the resources getting really thin now, our bank, just in terms of cost efficiency. RVA completely out of carbon here as well, just lots and lots of food. Here we've got a little bit. Risk's got a decent hoard of resources right now, so does Frost. Frost's got a lot of resources actually. Only not got too much, doesn't really have Nova so much. The map is just going to run out of carbon very soon. A lot of workers here from Yoda, all idols I'm guessing, coming to try and steal some carbon. I'm asking Risk to maybe throw berserkers at these, but there is air lying in wait. And these cruisers being annoying, killing off my power cores here. Pushing this back a little bit, it's sort of deja vu, we've been here before. Risk just seems to be flying into like shielded units. He can't really keep his own shields alive because of the cruisers. Unholy try to get the Gungan mechs on the go. The assault mechs. I still don't have anything up here in this bit because I've lost all my bloody power cores and I've got no carbon to rebuild them. Have to get Mounties and stuff. A few idols I could delete for a bit more supply. I kind of need the traders though, I need the Nova. I've apathy in terms of pushing here for Yoda and RVA. I've definitely got the unit lead at the moment on this side. Sitting under the shields. RVA commencing his invasion up here. Building some shields with his units. He is sort of inviting a bit of a pincer attack here as such. His Risk's just scattered all his units out here to try and hold the two sides. So try to get some bloody units out here. Some grenadiers, some assault mechs. So taking advantage of the passivity here at the bottom to get more units out. Got some strike mechs that have come in from Yoda here, picking off a lot of the traders. Really starting to deal with them now with the mech destroyers. Kill them off. Shield does go down. Holly just seems to be throwing his idle workers away here. Into Mounties. I don't know why Frost's down here with Mounties, it's interesting. I guess he just smells blood on this side, he's getting involved. I think he could just come right down the centre, I suppose, but... We've got a ton of assault mechs here from Yoda now as well. Ours are all up here, sort of pushing back this invasion force. Frost doesn't really need to push. I don't think Risk's going to push into that for a while. The assault mechs are going to tear him to shreds in a small choke. I think Yoda also bashing buildings down in response. I don't think either of them have got the upgrade from the fort though that makes them do tons of damage. There's a lot of units now here in Unholy Space, and I don't think we've really got anything. I've got these units that I'm pulling down from here, but Unholy's kind of just burned out of resources. He's got a few assault mechs and some artillery there, but that's not really the response to tons and tons of 175 health Mounties. With their big armour running about. Tearing all the buildings to shred and be at the trade very soon. Got assault mechs flying in here, but they just do so much damage to each other. It's nutty. A lot of these are not actually in the shields, they're not at full shields. These two taking a lot of damage with their full shields. Some berserkers from Risk running in here, try to change the fight. See what they're doing quickly, and the fighters are just waiting for them. And not really much of a way for us to advance. Kind of closed here, and dead here. So it's looking like we're going to call GG there. It's an interesting game, with a lot of off-meta play, I guess, in the early game. The Trade Federation there versus the Gungans there. But to be honest, playing that game was awful. The lag was really bad the whole way through. And Holy needs to sort his internet before he plays any more games, to be honest. So I hope you've all enjoyed the video. If you liked it, well, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye bye.